Hey guys, and welcome to Pheas Airsoft, where today I'm going to be unboxing this Double Bell AK023 or AK variant. Hey guys, and welcome back. If you do enjoy this content today, please do consider liking, commenting and subscribing, because those interactions help me get seen by the YouTube algorithms and help the channel grow. If you click the Linktree link down below, that will take you to all my socials, including my Discord and my merch store. And if you want to support the channel a little bit more, the join button is down below for channel memberships, 99 pence a month, totally optional, but really appreciated for that. And you get custom stuff for that. So getting straight into this then as an unboxing. So I've got the Double Bell AKM variant, full metal and wood, that I've got to unbox here. Now the box is absolutely massive and basically can't fit on, and I've still got the width of my hand off each end, so this tells you how big it is. And I'm limited for space, so this is massive. The box, thanks Parcel Force, you've absolutely wrecked the box there. Hope that's not damaged. The charging handle looks okay, maybe a little bit marked. So we've got just box standard as we used to with Double Bell, plain brown box with just the sticker on indicating the model that's in there. Now I am a massive fan of metal and wood AKs. That is pretty damn nice, really nice. So we've got in there the essential little bag of silica gel. We've got an upgrade or a downgrade spring. It's quite soft, so I'm guessing it's a downgrade spring. We've also got our metal AK high cap. Get that out, leave the spring in there for now, and then there she is, what we're actually here for, the AK. So let's get this box out of the way. There's nothing else in there at all. So there she is. Now there is a good few kilograms of heft to that, and I can see there's a little bit of damage on the stock there, a little bit of a mark dinked into the stock. That's a little bit disappointing, but the wood in general looks pretty decent. I'm impressed with that. Well, this thing is actually pretty damn nice. Maybe not quite as nice as the Seamer one, but it is nice. So we'll start at the front then. So we've got a metal muzzle brake, and if I push the pin in, it is, there we go, I'm just holding the pin in, it is on a negative thread there, and position it back and release the pin. So we've got a 14mm negative thread there. We've got a metal front sight that is adjustable, so this with a special tool can be lifted up or down to suit your needs. Put that back into the picture. So we've got an all metal outer barrel and gas block. We've got our wood handguard, which is pretty nice. It may not be to everybody's liking in terms of colour, but it is a pretty nice, I quite like it. I like the colour of it and things. A little bit of battle damage on there and weathering will definitely look nice. We're then into our all metal receiver. The selector doesn't really click like I would expect it to do. It's a little bit loose, so you're going to have to be careful with positioning your selector. We've got our charging handle, which a little bit sticky at the back there. It's not quite giving me the same sort of Seamer quality that I was hoping for. On this side of the receiver then, we've got a side mount. It does look like the screws going into this from the inside of the body, so we'll have a look at that. We'll take the top cover off. So we've got a clear plastic hop unit, but that does look like a metal air nozzle in there. A little bit disappointed that it's actually wired to the top there, to the top cover, and not to the stock. And then we've got a sort of Bakelite wood effecty pistol grip. You can see there clear clip over the gear on the version 3 gearbox, and it is some sort of metal air nozzle at least in there, so that's quite positive. We've also got the sort of L frame in there to keep the hop unit pushed back against the gearbox. Get that back in there. Actually looks, it's not built like a TM AK, it's built more like the sort of the modern style. And then coming back then, we've got our wooden stock with a sling point mounted on it, and the base plate is actually screwed in, so we'll get that off shortly and have a look if that's even empty in there. Something I did notice then that's a quick change spring in there. Now that's obviously not accessible as it is. You are going to have to lift the gearbox up and out, but that is a nice little feature to have in there, that downgrade is not that difficult. So I will look at getting a chrono with that spring in it as well, that other spring, depending on what it is. So what we're going to do then is we're going to go and have a look. I am pretty excited to shoot this and see how well it works, and we'll test mag compatibility as well with not only its own double bell mag, but I've got a SEMA metal high cap as well, and we'll see how that goes. I'll be back in a second to see where we're up to. So minimum 438, maximum 443.8, averaging 441. Just short of 10 rounds a second. At 8 rounds a second. At 13 rounds a second. About 18 rounds a second. Okay, so I am back from the chrono there. It is spicy for the UK standards anyway. So in terms of the chrono then, we're getting 438 to 443 FPS on a 2.2 gram BB with no hop, which is pretty high as a factory standard. So obviously the rates of fire I would adjust for sort of those sorts of things. If you do downgrade it, I would expect the rate of fires sort of to lift up, as it were. So the average out of that was about 441 at FPS with no hop setting. In terms of range then, it was easily punching out to like 400, about sort of 50-ish meters, 40, definitely 45 plus meters without any issues at all. It was, what I will say though, is it was inconsistent. We were sort of getting shots left and right and up, hopping too much, hopping not enough. It only towards the end that did it sort of start to improve. So again, possibly just dirt in the barrel, because we did see an improvement over time in that as we were shooting it. So in terms of rate of fire then, on a 7.4 getting about 10 rounds per second, fairly respectable at 440 FPS. You know, that's pretty damn respectable. On an 8.4, I'm pretty sure there's something wrong with my 8.4 and I will need to replace it, I think, because that FPS just doesn't sit right. So it's giving it RPS, so it's giving us about 8 rounds a second, which I'm convinced is wrong. I would have expected about 10 or 11 rounds per second. On a 9.6, we're getting about 13 rounds per second. So again, fairly standard and easy going. Nothing massively impressive, but again, at 440 FPS, that is, you know, that's some good going for a good rate of fire. And then on 11.1, it was easily whipping out 18 rounds a second without any issues. Now, what I did find is that the included magazine didn't feed very well, but the SEMA one did work much better and fed flawlessly. I did find that the included double bell one just missed a lot of shots in terms of misfed, and I found I had to wind it a lot more than I did the SEMA one. So just sort of, if you're going to get one, I'd consider getting the SEMA mags to go with it, as opposed to the double bell ones. But single shot, it fed absolutely perfect. It was just more the full autos where it was causing some issues, like you can see sort of in the clips of the shooting and things like that. Just as a quick dodgy update, the other spring wasn't actually a downgraded spring at all, other than by about 5 FPS. It just brought it down to like 400 30 or nearly 440 FPS. So absolutely not a downgrade spring at all on this occasion. I'm actually quite impressed at how well it did perform considering its price point. You know, if the colour of the wood is not to your liking, it's not hard to just sand that down a little bit, remove them, definitely sand them down a little bit, and re-varnish them and put them back on again to change. And weathering as well is going to be quite easy for you to do. So it's a pretty solid package in terms of, you know, holding it. There is no real movement. There's a tiny little bit of wobble, and I mean like less than a mil of wobble in the stock there. There's virtually no wobble again in the handguard. It feels lovely to hold when you get there. And it feels quite a nice sort of weighty piece of kit, and it is pretty nice to look at. Just going to grab a screwdriver and we're going to see if there's space in the stock to be stock wired. So I've grabbed a screwdriver, so it's just two Phillips head screws. It's not two flathead screws. There's one quite short. And there is battery space in there. Now that's quite a deep. It's not very large. I'll try and get a photo in the at the end there. Let's just have a quick look at the batteries. So I've got the typical batteries there that I chrono with. So the 7.4 more than easily goes in there with plenty of room for the and that's sort of going all the way in and then some. The 8.4 again more than easily going in there, so there's plenty of room. 9.6 plenty of room. 11.1 even that, wow, even that has gone in there with enough room if you keep your wiring short to fit in there and put that base plate on. So you have got plenty of room in there to get if you wanted to wire it to the stock, which we'll have a look at as part of the disassembly video to make sure that you know, you can run that. There is space in there to run that. We have got sort of semi-functional I'm going to say stock release. It's not stock release, I forgot what that's for, and the real one, but a little bit rusty on the inside there. Nothing to worry about, it's not a massive concern, but I'm impressed at how solidly it is actually built, particularly considering the cost of it. So we'll move on to the gloved operation then. Thanks to Lawrence and the guys on my Discord for suggesting this to me as a feature to make of it. So let's have a look then. So in terms of operating it then, the selector, easy enough. Again, it's not clicking in particularly well, so it is something to just be careful of, that will need to be, you know, you just need to make sure that you know where you're clicking it into. The trigger, more than easy. The mag release, absolutely easy. The charging handle and the hop are very easy to operate. I would have thought there's possibly a little bit too much easy movement in that hop adjuster in there, so I would have thought you might need to just shim that down to make it a little bit tighter. Put a little O-ring under this screw just to help keep it in place, but that's easy enough to adjust the hop and everything. If I had the tool, I could definitely adjust the front sight without any issues, and because the battery is in the top cover at the minute, that is very, very easy to get to and change, and then put the top cover back on again, and it clicks in place quite nicely. There is a tiny little bit of rattle in there. In terms of the high cap then, more than easily wind it and very easily access that top cover. It's obviously well thought out and designed in terms of that style of stuff. So out of the box, obviously, particularly if you're not in the UK, the performance in terms of FPS is definitely going to be something to make you happy about. The fact that there's a quick change spring in there is quite a nice little touch as well. Shame it's not a true quick change, but I don't know how you quite do it with this style of AK. There is definitely space in the stock for batteries, but we'll have a look at if there's availability in there in the disassembly video as well. Fairly well built package, to be honest. I'm not feeling it as much as I did with the SEMA one. I just feel like maybe there's something a little bit lacking about it, but it does look nice, and it's a good starting point, if nothing else. So I'm going to leave the usual pictures at the end of the video. Please do remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.